Please join us in a moment of silence in remembrance of September 11th.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the and the home of the brave.
Kickoff 2011. And welcome to Candlestick Park in San Francisco for the season opener between the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. And welcome everyone to the booth. I'm Dick Stockton along with John Lynch. And John, we have to feel a tremendous amount of pride for the way this country responded to the events of 10 years ago and the way the nation paid tribute today.
Well, could you be any more proud? And my sentiments 10 years later are that of God bless those people that lost their lives. God bless their families, the responders, our soldiers that protect our freedom, and it's great to be back playing football.
It sure is. And the headline today has to be the coaches. Jim Harbaugh making his NFL coaching debut with the 49ers, and Pete Carroll in his second year with the Seattle Seahawks, and they have a history. There may be no love lost between the two of them in their time at USC and Stanford, and I know that you're very objective being a Stanford man about all of this, but what is your take on it?
Well, they don't like each other, and that's the way it should be. They were rivals in college. They're rivals in the same division, a division that happens to be wide open. They're both competing and competing hard.
All right, so what is it that we're talking about? Quarterbacks second to the head coaches, but that's the story here. We have two quarterbacks today with these teams that certainly have something to prove.
Oh, absolutely. They're searching for their quarterbacks. In San Francisco in 2005, the #1 pick in the draft was Alex Smith. And since then, he's been thrown under the bus. This team hasn't had success. He takes some ownership. Jim Harbaugh comes in and I believe gives him the tools to succeed. On the other hand, it's Tavares Jackson in Seattle. Matthew Hasselbeck is gone, and unless Brett Favre flew in last night, this is Tavares Jackson's team. Pete Carroll and this team really believe in Tavares Jackson. His job is made tougher by a young offensive line without their big acquisition in Robert Gallery, their left guard.
All right, John, so there are a lot of questions to be answered with these young teams, and Pete Carroll, who made the playoffs with a 7-9 record last year and 13-1 in opening games of the season as a head coach in college and the professional ranks. The 49ers have won the toss. That's Jim Harbaugh. They deferred, so the Seahawks will receive. And there was some commotion that maybe Jim Harbaugh felt that that was the wrong instruction, that he wanted the 49ers to get the ball.
Well, it sure looked like Frank Gore erred in deferring the ball, and not a great start for Jim Harbaugh. It appeared that he wanted the ball, but Frank Gore told the official, you could hear him over the loudspeaker, that he asked to defer into the second half.
So we're set to go. An enthusiastic capacity crowd on hand. David Akers will kick off, and how strange is it seeing Akers not in an Eagle uniform after 12 years with Philadelphia. Leon Washington, the extraordinary return man, is back deep for the Seahawks, kicking from the 35 this year, but Washington will run it out from 5 yards in the end zone and brings it out just shy of the 25-yard line. So Tavares Jackson getting a second chance, leading the Seahawks, and the first time since 2001 a quarterback other than Matt Hasselbeck has started for Seattle. So Jackson, and I don't think Brett Favre made the trip in. So there he is. And the handoff is to Marshawn Lynch. And Lynch brings it out. It's tackled by Sopo Aga. Let's take a look at the Seahawks offensive group. And you mentioned the fact that Rice is not playing. And there is that offensive line so key.
Well, it's a young offensive line, the second youngest since 1995. James Carpenter shifts over to left guard in place of Robert Galloway.
6-yard gain. It'll be second down and 4. Out of the shotgun is Jackson. He'll hand off to Lynch. Lynch got 1 yard on the first play. Doesn't get much more on this play, bringing up third down and 10. Justin Smith making the tackle on the play. And there is the defensive line. Smith making his 156th consecutive start up front.
And Dick, I really think the linebackers are the strength of this defense. Patrick Willis in the middle. The secondary, some veterans, but they have not played together. We'll see if Seattle can expose that group here today.
Third down and 8. In motion is Ben Obamanu. 3 receivers to the left on third down and 8. Pressure put on Tavares Jackson, but the pass is caught by Obamanu, and he'll be shy of the first down by a couple of yards, creating fourth down and a punting situation with Ray McDonald putting pressure on.
You see Ray McDonald simply just bust through the line of scrimmage on Breno Giacomini, put the pressure on Tavares Jackson. Carlos Rogers with a sure tackle to prevent the first down for Seattle.
So Ted Ginn Jr. goes back to return the punt from John Ryan for the Seahawks. And a booming kick, and a flag goes down as the kick sails into the end zone. And let's see whether Tavares Gooden came in and will be guilty of a running in or roughing the kicker penalty.
Tavares Gooden, a late pickup off the waiver wire from Baltimore as we listen to Jeff Triplett.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Receiving team hit the kicker's plant leg. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And a very careless first possession penalty on the 49ers.
You can see Tavares Gooden, he's going to come from the outside, and you just can't do it. You can't run into the kicker, to the punters. They'll call it every time. A careless mistake, as you said, Dick, by Tavares Gooden.
I mean, you play it clean. The 49ers get their first possession and not bad field possession. So it'll be a first down at the 46 of Seattle. Jackson's pass, and it's caught by Obamano, and as he gets into 49er territory and picks up 7 yards. For a game break, Kurt Menefee. Welcome, Kurt.
Well, thank you very much. Welcome to you, Dick. Who said no kickoff returns for touchdowns this year? Here's Percy Harvin, opening kickoff, Vikings and Chargers. Of course, this was San Diego's problems last year. 103 yards for the score. Already 7-0. Dick and John.
And a quick start. In motion is Michael Robinson, and the handoff is to Lynch. And Marshawn Lynch getting the first down to the 43. Dante Whitner making the tackle, the strong safety, and a gain of 4.
And early on, I think you're seeing what you're going to see from this Seattle offense. This is a young offensive line that struggled mightily to protect Tavares Jackson throughout the preseason. You're seeing quick throws. You're seeing them try to establish the run game, everything to protect the offensive line as much as Tavares Jackson.
Jackson lost the screen pass, and it's dropped by Lynch, and the pass is incomplete. And a penalty flag goes down. A conference with 5 officials, make it 6.
Pass interference, offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
So that's the backup tight end Anthony McCoy, who's going to play a lot of action with Zach Miller today. 5-yard penalty will place the ball back in Seahawks territory at the 48. Tavares Jackson in and out of the lineup has Darrell Bevel, the same offensive coordinator he had in Minnesota. And the play action here, plenty of time, but Jackson checks down and completes it to Lynch. And Lynch gets back to the line of scrimmage, and they pick up another couple of yards. Ahmad Brooks making the stop. So it is now Tavares Jackson's team.
It is, and they made a decision. Early on, they made an effort to try to sign Matthew Hasselbeck prior to the lockout. Once the lockout started, I think they had time on their hands, and they said, with our shift going to a younger team, let's do it at the quarterback position as well. Darrell Bevel, the new offensive coordinator, came from Minnesota. He was familiar with Tavares Jackson. They felt like in the lockout shortened season that Tavares Jackson's familiarity with the offense was key, and we'll see if it works out here for the Seattle Seahawks.
Down, and another penalty after a pickup to within 2 yards of the first down.
Looks like it's going to be an offsides neutral zone infraction on Ahmad Brooks.
Two fouls on the play, holding 76 the offense. Offside defense, number 55. Those penalties offset by rule. Second down.
It'll be second down and about 9. Lynch is lined up as a receiver wide to the right. And here's Lynch, and he's tackled down by Ray McDonald for no gain.
Well, early on, Dick, we've seen what the Seattle Seahawks could least afford to have in terms of situations on third down. We've seen 2 third and longs with a young offensive line that has struggled to protect throughout the preseason. That's not the situations you would like to be in. Second time Seattle's been in this situation.
Third down and 8. Seahawks on the 49ers 41-yard line. That defense has been on the field for a long time in this first quarter for San Francisco after the roughing the kicker penalty. Here is Tavares Jackson, and he's taken down back at the 42 by Ray McDonald. And the first sack of the game by the 49ers, and Ray McDonald playing a strong series here.
Well, it was Ray McDonald on the first third down that got to Tavares Jackson, and it's Ray McDonald that finishes the deal here on Tavares Jackson. This really is good protection, decent protection, coverage downfield. The pocket collapses, but Tavares Jackson's got to get that ball out of his hand. Good coverage by this 49er secondary.
So they've done a good job defensively, finally clamping down, and John Ryan will be kicking. And again, Ted Ginn is back and calls for the fair catch at the 6-yard line. So the 49ers will finally get the ball with 9:17 to go in the first quarter, no score.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
49ers lining up for their first huddle on the sideline. Now coming in, we may see a lot of no huddle from San Francisco. Alex Smith, the quarterback, his 7th different offensive coordinator in 7 years in the league. How tough is that?
Well, you try to be successful playing that position in this league, and in 7 years you've got 7 different coordinators. Talking to Alex, he finally thinks he has the guy in Jim Harbaugh that can help him be the quarterback that everyone expected when they drafted.
Starting from the 8-yard line with the first possession. And there is Smith. Nothing right. Now takes off. And Smith getting to the 11-yard line. Gets about 5 yards with Aaron Curry making the tackle. Let's take a look at the 49er offense. And they certainly have some marquee players there. In Frank Gore, the outstanding running back. We know about Vernon Davis, the tight end, and we'll see Braylon Edwards as well.
And I'm excited to see Braylon Edwards, his impact on this football team. He's an explosive guy. You look at the offensive line, a good group, big guys that can move.
And there is the handoff, but a penalty and a false start call against San Francisco.
False start, 74 the offense. Half the distance to the goal, still second down.
Joe Staley, the left tackle, and the penalty called on him. And so a sloppy start to this 49er Seahawk game. And we noticed that Michael Crabtree had come in. Crabtree, who had a broken foot surgery in July, coming back. And so this is a prolific receiving club now, John. Second down and 10, and here is Gore with his first carry and gets just shy of the 10-yard line as a little chippy play early on with these teams. A little too early to be chippy on the first game of the season, but maybe not with these two division rivals.
We're seeing the San Francisco 49ers now, due to penalties, getting themselves in 3rd and long situations.
Seattle's defensive unit, and it looks like this. Chris Clemens tweaked an ankle, led the team in sacks last year, and K.J. Wright starting in the middle.
Earl Thomas in the back end, a ball hawk, 5 interceptions in his rookie season last year.
3rd down and 7, and Frank Gore is stuffed by Aaron Curry. The second play made by Curry. And this may be a young club, only 3 starters been with the team since the start of Pete Carroll at camp 2 years ago, and it is 4th down after a 2-yard pickup, and Andy Lee will come in to punt, and Leon Washington will go back for Seattle. And the kick off to the right and goes right past Leon Washington and will be down by the 49ers at the 26-yard line. And it will be downed at that point at the 26 by Reggie Smith. And the 49ers claiming that did Leon Washington touch this ball, John?
And the Niners sideline clamoring for their guys to pick up. Tough to tell there. It does look like there's a little misdirection of the football after it touched Leon Washington. We'll see as we come back from commercial.
61-yard punt in all. And the 49ers have to be thankful after all of that.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
Jim Harbaugh, while we were away, threw the challenge flag, challenging the call that Leon Washington did not touch the ball. Had he touched it, the 49ers would have gone in for the score. So this is the challenge here.
And I got to tell you, Dick, I mean, for them to overturn this, it's got to be indisputable visual evidence, and I just don't see it right there.
I don't either, and in fact, Washington isn't giving a full effort to try to get the ball. I think if he felt it touched him, he'd go after it with more zeal.
You would think so, but remember, Jeff Triplett's going to be under that hood, and he needs to see something that conclusively tells him that it did, in fact, touch Leon Washington. I don't see it.
Another look.
Watch the ball come over his left shoulder. And if it did touch it, again, it's got to be something that would make Jeff Triplett overturn the ruling. The ruling on the field was that it did not touch him.
And when we saw the play as it happened live, it didn't appear that it touched Washington.
No, and you have to question whether this was a smart challenge or not, because I think the net, even if it does get overturned, it would be Niners ball, but not the touchdown. They'd get the ball right where he did recover it.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. San Francisco is charged their first timeout and their first challenge.
An early challenge by Jim Harbaugh, and they have 2 timeouts left in the first half. And we talked to Jim Harbaugh the other day and said, I don't run away from the tough challenges in life, and he feels this is one of them.
Well, and he was going to do this on his own. A lot of people have people up in the box. Jim was going to try to be on top of the replay from the sidelines. And remember, in the college football game, everything's reviewed up in the booth. Coach isn't involved, so this is new for Jim Harbaugh.
So Tavares Jackson with a first down at the 26. 4 wide receivers line up for the Seahawks, and Jackson's pass, and it is caught at the 33 by Zach Miller. New acquisition and a big one. The Seahawks field 7 yards after playing with Oakland.
Well, Zach Miller's an excellent football player, a guy I battled a lot against when I was with the Denver Broncos. Zach with the Oakland Raiders. Tavares Jackson was gushing about Zach Miller, the big body, the way he uses his body to shield people, and his ability to run after the catch.
John Carlson on injured reserve, and the handoff is to Michael Robinson, and Robinson gets about a yard as we check in with Kurt Menefee at another game break. Kurt.
Donovan McNabb's first pass as a Viking, tipped by Sean Phillips and intercepted by Sean Phillips. That led to San Diego's first touchdown of the game, a 1-yard score from Phillip Rivers to Mike Tolbert. It's tied at 7. Minnesota, as you saw, scored on an opening kickoff return by Percy Harvin. Dick and John.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. We have an injured player on the field, Michael Robinson, the Seahawks fullback who carried on the last play going out. And Leon Washington coming in to replace him. So we have had a roughing the kicker call. We had a coin toss in which the coach said, wait a second, I don't think we wanted that. We had a challenge, that was turned down, and now an injury to a running back.
First game jitters, you call it. Blame it on the lockout. Haven't had enough time to practice.
These teams are playing like they're question marks, and the fact that they really haven't established any kind of an offense in preseason. 3rd down and 2 from the 33. Jackson. Down he goes at the 25. Justin Smith. 156 consecutive start for Smith. A loss of 9 yards and the second sack of the game for the 49ers.
Watch Justin Smith right up the middle. Going to get by Russell Okung. You keep that motor going. You keep battling. Tavares Jackson again. That's a quick throw. Got to get the ball out of your hands. Don't blame it on this young offensive line. Tavares Jackson got to get the ball, get the football out of his hands into his receiver's hands.
John Ryan kicking to Ted Ginn, who picks it up on a bounce and goes out of bounds. So we're seeing the influence of Vic Fangio's defense. Didn't show it in preseason, but he's a blitzing guy and he puts pressure on quarterbacks. No score. We'll be right back.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by KFC Popcorn Chicken. Today tastes so good.
No score at Candlestick Park. We talked about the rivalry of these two coaches when they were at USC and Stanford respectively. They met 3 times and Jim Harbaugh won twice, and one was a contentious finish that we'll show you at midfield after the game. First down at the 29. This is only the 4th play from scrimmage run by the 49ers. And Alex Smith has yet to throw a pass. Empty backfield. You'd expect one here. Smith's pass, and it's caught by Braylon Edwards for 8 yards, bringing up 2nd down and 2. Well, John Lynch, you're known for back to school, and you were a distinguished player at Stanford. And so what is the back to school deal?
Back to school's the segment where we like to teach you a little football. Usually we go hard teaching, but this one was too good. These guys truly going back to school. We're going to take you back to Stanford and SC and why that rivalry is so intense between these two fine head coaches.
Crabtree in the lineup, split wide to the right. 2nd down and 2. Play action, putting the rush on, and the pass is caught, but Vernon Davis makes the catch, but they'll lose some yardage as Earl Thomas, the free safety, alertly comes over to make the play on Davis, and a loss of 1. And this is what you're referring to, your version today of back to school.
Well, this is in the 3rd of these guys' matchups. Stanford versus SC. You see Toby Gerhart now with the Minnesota Vikings go in to make it 48-21. Look at the clock here. 6 minutes left. You go for 2, up by 20. You go for 2, and Pete Carroll didn't like it. Pete Carroll comes to the side, to the midfield at the end of the game, and what's your deal, he said, and Jim Harbaugh appropriately right back to Pete Carroll said, what's your deal?
What are their deals? And there's the handoff to Frank Gore, and once again Leroy Hill forces the play. The Seahawks have been very sharp defensively early on, a loss of 2, so 2 straight losses, and there you can see the cheerleader on the sideline in Pete Carroll.
And you've seen twice already. Now Jim Harbaugh brought in to develop the quarterbacks and bring back the Bill Walsh era of ingenuity and imagination. Run twice on 3rd down. Seahawks have been effective in stopping them.
Leon Washington on 4th down, letting the ball drop, and it stays in the field of play and down to the 2-yard line. 49ers getting a break there as the ball bounced, teetered on the goal line, and stayed in the field. And it was Larry Grant, the first one down, to make sure. .329 remaining in the first quarter. Dick Stockton and John Lynch. And the Seahawks at the 2. And Marshawn Lynch picks up about a yard. Ray McDonald in to make the tackle.
I think early on, Dick, you're seeing both teams not wanting to put it all on their quarterback, trying to run the ball effectively. Right now, what I see out of this San Francisco 49ers defensive line, defensive front, they're winning the battle up front. Ray McDonald's been all over the field as well as Justin Smith.
In fact, it's been both defenses. Again, here is Lynch trying to go outside, slowed up, and then put down. And the forward progress will be about the 1-yard line. And Patrick Willis was the first to get to him to slow him down, making the play, and a loss of 2. Good pressure there.
Get used to calling Patrick Willis his name. This is one of the best football players in this National Football League. Middle linebacker, 4 consecutive Pro Bowls in his first 4 seasons in the league. This guy is all over the field, will continue to be. What you got to love if you're Vic Fangio, you're seeing these 49er defense swarm to the football here today.
And they got a chance to do it again on 3rd down and 10. From the end zone, Tavares Jackson pump fake. And now again, and now he runs it out, but doesn't get past the 6-yard line, where Navarro Bowman, one of the inside linebackers, makes the tackle. So tell you, Andy Lee with 2 punts of 64 and 61 yards, putting the Niners in this position here.
Well, you watch the coverage. It's been Tavares Jackson holding on to the football. Why is he holding on to the football? Great coverage. And when your defensive line is getting to the quarterback without the blitz, just rush 4 people, put everybody else back in coverage. That's a luxury, and Vic Fangio has been able to do it thus far today.
John Ryan kicking from the end zone, and Ted Ginn Jr. Good kick by Ryan. And Ginn at the 42 now gets into Seattle territory, turns on the Jets, turns the corner. Only the kicker remains, and finally a great job done that time by John Ryan. going after Ted Ginn Jr. Cam Chancellor makes the tackle ultimately after a 31-yard return, and the 49ers in business here.
Well, Ted Ginn, one of the most explosive punt returners in the National Football League, averaged over 13 yards per punt return. Good job by John Ryan slowing him down, letting the Seahawks defense live to fight another down.
And again, Andy Lee with 2 punts of over 60 yards, and the 49ers with terrific field position. First down at the 26 of Seattle. Alex Smith pitches to Gore, who changes direction. Gore gets good blocking at the 15 and ridden out of bounds at the 15-yard line. It'll be a first down just inside the 15, a pickup of 12, and Cam Chancellor made a big tackle there for the Seahawks.
Well, one of the reasons that Jim Harbaugh showed confidence in Alex Smith was the toughness that he showed. Look at Alex Smith out front leading Frank Gore, the lead blocker. Alex Smith misdirection. Frank Gore goes one way, then follow your quarterback, right? That's how you draw it up.
Fine misdirection play, and Gore, who needs 931 yards to pass Joe the Jet Perry to become the all-time leading 49er rusher. And a first down at the 15. And Smith fumbles the ball, but picks it up himself. And the clock continues to run, nearly a half a minute to go in this first quarter.
Quarterback center exchange, a simple thing. You shouldn't have the ball on the ground. Jonathan Goodwin, a free agent who came over from the New Orleans Saints, has played 10 years, but a quarterback and center, they have to get used to each other.
Second down and 10. Could be the final play of the first quarter. And here's Gore, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Earl Thomas. And that'll be the last play. A loss of 1 on the play, and that is the end of the first quarter here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. No score between the Seahawks and the 49ers. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. Start of the second quarter. Dick Stockton and John Lynch, third down and 11 from the 16, and the pass is caught by Braylon Edwards inside the 10, fighting for additional yardage, and his forward progress will be the 9-yard line as Brandon Browner making the play in a pickup of 7. Fourth down coming up. And the field goal team comes on.
Well, that standing job of, all right, let's give them 6-7 yards, but we aren't going to give them the first down. Earl Thomas, the first one there. Brandon Browner finishes him off. You see Earl Thomas playing safety position, but look at the closing speed of Earl Thomas. Braylon Edwards shrugs him off, but here comes the rest of the guys. Nice play by the second-year man, Earl Thomas.
So David Akers, who led the league in scoring, will attempt a 27-yard field goal in the first minute of the second quarter. The kick is good, and the 49ers have taken a 3-0 lead, helped by a great punt downed on the 2-yard line. Good defense, and a 3-0 San Francisco edge. 49ers take the lead early here in the second quarter on David Akers' field goal. 5 plays, 18 yards, and the 31-yard punt return by Ted Ginn setting it up. Good field position game. Leon Washington, who last year ran back 2 kicks for touchdowns, and he has been a kickoff scoring machine, but now they're kicking off from the 35 and more touchbacks. Let's see what Leon Washington does. He runs it out from 6 yards in the end zone, and a flag goes down, and Washington carries it out to the 27-yard line where Chris Culliver makes the tackle. 30-yard return, but a flag.
Holding 53 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And the penalty is against Malcolm Smith. And so that will set the Seahawks back inside the 15-yard line. There is Browner making the stop on Edwards, preventing a first down. But the Niners got free nonetheless.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. By DirecTV, this season NFL Sunday Ticket is included when you switch. And by the Chevy Season of Doing event.
And welcome back to San Francisco. The Seahawks will have a first down on their 14-yard line following the holding penalty on the punt return or the kickoff return by Washington. Marshawn Lynch with the carry, and he'll be knocked back for a loss of 1. Navarro Bowman making the play. And for a report on the injury to Michael Robinson, the third member of our team, Jamie Maggio. Jamie.
Dick, thank you so much. Well, when Michael walked over to the sideline, you saw him hobbling. He was trying to put pressure on it. They actually brought the cart over for him to take him back, but he refused it. He wanted to walk back there. They're calling it a left ankle sprain. They're saying his return is doubtful. It's also worth noting he is the only active fullback on the roster right now. Back to you.
Great point, Jamie. Thank you. Second down and 11. And this pass caught by Anthony McCoy, and Carlos Rogers, a new acquisition for the 49ers, and a gain of 2. And we talked about this much mixed and shuttled offensive line for Seattle.
Yeah, remember, this is a team in Seattle that won their division last year, but Pete Carroll and general manager John Snyder feel like they have a plan. Part of that plan was to get younger, in particular on the offensive line. 27 combined starts. A lot of that is because they're missing Robert Gallery, but you can tell here early today, San Francisco winning the battle up front.
Third down and 9. Justin Forsett now in the backfield with the quarterback Tavares Jackson. And Jackson gets hit as he throws. And they're going to rule this a catch and a first down to the 27 by Doug Baldwin. Good pressure that time by Justin Smith.
Good pressure, and Doug Baldwin, who was playing last year for Jim Harbaugh over in Palo Alto for the Stanford Cardinal, makes a nice reception. Good job by Tavares Jackson, hanging in there in the pocket under duress. Delivers a nice ball to Doug Baldwin. Beautiful catch by the rookie from Stanford.
And you talked about the offensive line. James Carpenter, the #1 pick from Alabama, playing left guard with Gallery out of there. And the ball pops in the air. Loose ball. And a free ball picked up by the 49ers. Will Tukuafu. And he has it inside the 10-yard line. The 49ers capitalizing on the turnover. And Jackson did not have much of a chance with a short drop in the pocket. And they're still.
Watch Paris Harrelson. Everyone's talking about Alden Smith, the young rookie, thinking Paris Harrelson's just holding the fort. He says, not so fast. Let me get to the quarterback. Gets there. Causes the fumble. Tukuafu takes it and runs with it.
And that was his first offensive play from scrimmage. And Vic Fangio, the defensive play, making its mark, and the 49ers will have the ball inside the 10.
Pete Carroll decides not to challenge that, and I think it's the right call. It doesn't appear as if Tavares Jackson's arm was going forward. Nice play by Paris Harrelson.
And Tukuafu making the recovery. They rule it a fumble. So it'll be first and goal at the 9. One receiver split, and that's Braylon Edwards. And here is the pass into the end zone, incomplete. And Edwards was covered by Marcus Trufant. How about Alex Smith? And you talk about the fact that his record is 19-31 as far as wins and losses. But how about the red zone, John?
That's Hall of Fame numbers right there. Maybe you just got to play the whole game in the red zone if you're the 49ers.
They wouldn't mind that. Here's the pitch to Gore. And there's Gore, still on his feet, and gets to about the 7, where Cam Chancellor, the strong safety, catches up with him. It'll be third down. Third and goal after the pickup of 3. And they're on the 6-yard line.
If I'm Alex Smith, here you go. Third down. You've brought in. He's already been incredibly proficient in the red zone. A big part of that, Vernon Davis, his all-world tight end. You bring in Braylon Edwards. Don't be so fast to double team Vernon Davis. You got Braylon Edwards outside.
Morgan, Edwards, and Crabtree are the 3 wide receivers, and let's not forget that man, Vernon Davis. Third and goal. Here's Alex Smith going underneath, and it's dropped by Gore. And even had he caught it, he would have been tackled, and the 49ers would not have gotten in. So it is fourth down, and Akers will come in to try another field goal.
Well, sometimes you have Vernon Davis and Braylon Edwards. You get so focused on those two. Michael Crabtree saying, look at me. I know I just came back this week, but I'm open too. Alex Smith feeling his way through this game. Jim Harbaugh, okay, just putting points on the board. He feels like this is going to be a field position game.
And it has been thus far. 24-yard attempt by Akers, who kicked one from 27 earlier in this quarter. And this kick is good. It's old hat for David Akers. And Pete Carroll has got to be happy that the defense did prevent the touchdown there. But they get the 3. And with 11:22 to go in the second, 6-0 now, San Francisco.
You come out and you look at that last third down. Alex Smith looking initially at Vernon Davis. Going to get pressure from Chris Clemens over here on the left side. Going through his progression. Vernon Davis not there. Going through his progression, goes to Frank Gore. A lot of people say, well, Michael Crabtree was wide open. But Chris Clemens is coming as well. Nice decision by Alex Smith. They get 3 points on the board. That's positive for the San Francisco 49ers.
And they capitalized on the turnover, the sack fumble, and didn't have much to go. Couldn't get it into the end zone. And Leon Washington, 7 yards back. He's running them all out today. Gets slowed down and brings it out to the 16-yard line. C.J. Spillman made the key play there. So the Seahawks, not the benefit of good field position for Tavares Jackson thus far.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Back here at Candlestick Park, the NFL is holding a special auction to benefit 9/11 charities. Autographed game-worn jerseys from today's games, along with today's game ball and other unique NFL items, will be auctioned to raise money for Tuesday's Children and My Good Deed. Visit NFL.com/auction today to bid on items. First and 10, and the handoff to Justin Forsett, and Forsett stopped by Navarro Bowman. And this is a close to the best game, John Lynch, that we're seeing so far with both of these college coaches. Prolific offenses there, but what are we seeing?
Well, I think you're seeing good defense. I think you're seeing great defense. I think you're seeing coaches trying to protect offensive lines that struggled during the preseason, trying to call conservative games. I think you'll see them open up now, trying to put points on the board. But the 49ers, with the 1 turnover, are up 6-0 as a result.
And of course, the quarterbacks have to prove themselves here. And there's a flag down as Forsett is stopped in his tracks. No gain on the play. So another penalty marker is down as Bowman comes in to make the play after a gain of 1.
There is no foul for illegal formation.
So Jeff Triplett picking the flag up.
Dick, you talk about the ramifications of a shortened offseason because of the lockout. Young teams like this are going to be affected more. Jim Harbaugh had 14 practices to really install his offense, his defense. Seattle, on the other hand, says, we studied Stanford film. We don't know what we're going to get out of these San Francisco 49ers. I think you have both teams feeling each other out.
Third down and 10, and Golden Tate has come in as a third wide receiver, and we'll have another penalty. And maybe this is another effect of the lockout. A false start this time by Seattle, and it's against Russell Okung.
False start. Offense, number 76. The 5-yard penalty, still third down.
So Pete Carroll hoping that Tavares Jackson is the quarterback that's going to advance this team that was 7-9 last year.
And Pete Carroll went out and got Tavares Jackson. He felt because of the situation, the way it was dictated with the lockout, he didn't want it to be an open competition. He wanted to put confidence in Tavares. He gave the job to Tavares.
But now he has a 3rd down and 15, and under pressure, and a screen pass, and the pass is ruled incomplete as Forsett, covered by Patrick Willis, did not have possession. 4th down coming up, and I guess against a big Fangio defense, you don't want to be in 3rd and long.
And watch Patrick Willis. When you're in 3rd and long, he's going to sit back there. He's going to be a free roamer, and he's going to go get that screen. Instinctive play. Look at the way Patrick Willis closes. That's what makes him an all-pro player in this league.
So it'll be John Ryan kicking to Ted Ginn Jr. And once again, the 49ers could be looking at ideal field position. Here's Ginn dancing his way, giving ground, and down he goes. He gave up about 15 yards as a result of his juking back there. Nowhere to go, and he is stopped at the 35. Lost 10 yards after the 43-yard kick, with Malcolm Smith finally catching up. Back in San Francisco, the Baltimore Ravens stomped the Pittsburgh Steelers today 35-7. Now, why are we just putting that score up? Victory for John Harbaugh, the head coach of the Ravens. Jim is coaching the 49ers as Frank Gore carries. And Jack Harbaugh, the 72-year-old father of both of them, is here, and Jamie Maggio is with him.
Jack, your sons make history, NFL history, as the first time that 2 brothers are head coaches at the same time. As a former coach yourself, you must be so proud. What is this day like for you?
Oh, we take so much pride in it, my wife Jackie and I, because this is what we did all our lives. And now to see your sons follow in your footsteps, seeing the good and the bad, and choosing this as a profession makes us very, very proud.
It's well documented how Jim and John are very competitive. What's going to happen on Thanksgiving Day? Which side do you lean on?
I'm anxious to see it myself. We've watched it for 40-some years now, and now we're anxious for it to be on in public where everyone around the nation has a chance to observe it.
Dick, back to you.
And the pass is caught at the 45 by Vernon Davis. Tight end was wide open. And Alex Smith hits the tight end for a gain of 27 and a 1st down to the 32 of Seattle.
Well, Jack Harbaugh should be proud, and one of the guys that's going to make his son's job a lot easier is Vernon Davis. When you've got a playmaker like this, Alex Smith, great job extending the play. Beautiful thrown pass to Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis, an explosive player, an explosive tight end.
And a 1st down. And we have a whistle and a false start penalty against the 49ers. Jamie.
Yes, Jack, so I didn't really get an answer from you. On Thanksgiving Day, when the Niners and the Ravens face off, who are you rooting for?
Rooting for both of them. Rooting for a fantastic football game. And I know at the end of the game, the one that I'll talk to first is the one on the losing side of it, because the one on the winning side of it won't need any support from family at all. The one on the other side will.
Well, the Ravens already won big today, so what would it mean to you to have both of your sons win week 1 of this NFL season?
It would be fantastic, but I want to point out that Riley Crean in Bloomington, Indiana this morning, 16-0 in their first game of the season. The quarterback, he's 5 for 10.
And you're talking about
Riley Crean, that grandson, 7th grade.
It's a football family.
That was the first call in today, the first win. Then we got John's win. Now we're looking for the hat trick.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you enjoy the game. I'll let you get back to business here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
1-yard gain by Gore, and we saw Jack on the sideline at practice the other day. You were talking with him.
Oh, great stuff. And he was pacing that 49er practice field just like he was coaching this team. He's a wonderful man, wonderful family, and that's just fun to see them make history in this league.
Trying to make it 2-0 and maybe 3-0, of course, with the grandson involved. 2nd down and 14. And here's Alex Smith. And checks down and hits Gore, and Frank Gore close to the 1st down, shy by a yard. Brandon Browner on the tackle. He gets 10. Kurt Menefee with a game break. Kurt.
Donovan McNabb's first pass as a Viking was picked off, but he's 6 of 7 since then. including the 3-yard score to Michael Jenkins, and the Vikings are on top by 10 in San Diego late in the second quarter. Dick and John.
A little bit of a surprise, Mr. Lynch.
Well, Kurt, I think a lot of people, and Dick, a lot of people would be surprised by that. A lot of people having the Chargers as their Super Bowl pick in the AFC. That's why they play the game.
3rd down and 2. Isn't that the truth? Ball at the 29 of Seattle, and the pitch is to Gore, and Frank Gore is stopped, and looks like he did not get the first down, and Earl Thomas, the free safety, with an alert play, and appears to be about a half a yard shy of the first down.
We talked about the San Francisco 49er defense in their pursuit of the football. Third down that Jim Harbaugh has run the football on 3rd down. Great pursuit, can snuff that out. Good job by the Seattle Seahawks. Earl Thomas really having a strong game, preventing the 3rd down conversion of Frank Gore and the 49ers.
And we're going to have a measurement to see whether Gore picked up the first down. So Frank Gore, who recovered from a hairline hip fracture, has been out 9 games in the last 3 years, and has an extension to his contract and is short by about a half a yard. So now what do you do on 4th and less than a yard?
I think you don't hesitate. I go for it right now. I think you got an opportunity to really shift the momentum of this game. You've got a big, strong offensive line. I think you ride right behind them with your all-pro running back. And I think Jim Harbaugh is thinking my same direction.
And Gus Bradley, you figure the defense has got to expect what?
I think you expect their best player on offense, Frank Gore, getting the football.
So here it is, 4th and less than 1.
Seattle Seahawks, you talk about getting bigger. A big, big defensive line led by Red Bryant.
Specialty was stuffing the run when he was healthy. Let's see what he does here from the 27. And it looks like flag goes and a false start apparently, and now another flag goes down. Question is, was the offensive player drawn off by the defense? It would be a first down if he was.
Encroachment, defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Alan Branch, number 99.
Let's watch 68, Adam Snyder, an offensive lineman who checked in as an eligible tight end. He's going to shift. A shift is legal. Vernon Davis steps up. Red Bryant sees him moving, and he jumps off sides in the neutral zone. Then Brandon Mebane gets in the backfield. Nice job by Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator of the 49ers, with the shifting, different formations, different looks.
It was infectious, wasn't it, with all of those guys going over? So it's a first down from the 22. And here is Gore breaking a tackle. Almost broke another one, and he is stopped at the 16 by Earl Thomas, picking up 7 on the play. With under 5 minutes remaining in the first half, 6-0, the 49ers leading.
The 49ers starting to establish a little bit of rhythm on the offensive line, and an unbalanced line this time, more Norris. But look at Earl Thomas come out of nowhere. I love watching this young kid play. This kid closes so fast. He's really emphasized and worked on his tackling ability. Big time player, Earl Thomas, one-on-one with Frank Gore. 2nd and 3,
Gore 10 carries, 27 yards. And they go with him again, and here is Frank Gore. Gore to the 15. Does not get out of bounds. The clock continues to run. Brandon Browner makes the tackle. It'll be 3rd and short coming up for the 49ers, who have had to settle for 2 field goals thus far. Frank Gore's 2 biggest games of his career have come against the Seattle Seahawks. Pretty good, over 200 in both occasions.
Well, he's feasted on Seattle over the years. He's played well in the division. Frank Gore is an excellent football player. Frank Gore goes out. Now it's Kendall Hunter in the backfield, leading rusher in the preseason.
And here's Kendall Hunter with the carry. Close. Hunter, the 4th round pick from Oklahoma State, is stopped by Cam Chancellor. And so, again, it's going to be 4th and short. We've already seen what happened earlier in this situation.
Now that's one where Jim Harbaugh wants Frank Gore in. Kendall Hunter's a smaller guy, 5'7", 190 pounds. This is where you want your big back, Frank Gore. Frank got tired. I think he got a little nicked on that tackle. I see Jim Harbaugh send in David Akers in his field goal unit.
Settled for 3 with 3 minutes remaining here in this first half. David Akers with a couple of chip shots so far. And there you see Pete Carroll going after as one of his players. This will be a 31-yard attempt. Akers has connected from 24 and 27. And this one is good, and Akers 3 for 3 here in the second quarter. 31-yard field goal, and the 49ers lead Pete Carroll's Seahawks 9-0. It's the season's most anticipated new series, The X Factor, and now it's your chance to see the competition unfold when Fox presents an exclusive 8-minute preview. See the amazing talent and hear their incredible stories coming up after the game only on Fox.
Dick, I think a lot of people are sitting at home wondering what was the X factor on Jim Harbaugh's decision. You go for it once on 4th down. Why don't you do it another time? I think a lot of it is the confidence he has in his defense. His defense is playing great football, 0 points on the board. You trust your defense, go ahead, get points on the board. You've got a 2-score game now.
And they've had field position throughout this first half. Leon Washington. This one he won't run out, and the Seahawks will start from the 20 with 2:40 remaining in the first half. So Tavares Jackson going back to work. Now this is a defensive game, so the numbers are not going to be explosive, as you see what Jackson has done passing, Lynch running, and Obamano as the receiver leading the Seahawks.
Again, they're trying to protect a young offensive line. The best way to do that is to run the football, but as you see, they haven't been able to do that effectively. The credit goes to the San Francisco front on defense.
No question, they've rushed for 11 yards on 12 carries. Play action on 1st down, and the pass is dropped incomplete toward the goal line, or toward the line of scrimmage, so it's an incompleted pass.
Dick, and to compound your problems, Jamie mentioned it, the one fullback they have on a roster, and Michael Robinson, out of the football game. And when you're trying to run the football, you need that fullback. Makes it even tougher on these Seattle Seahawks.
Sprained ankle, and Michael Robinson hurt the first time he carried the ball. Doubtful as to his return. Total offense, not much there, and Justin Forsett, and he doesn't get much. And there'll be a loss on the play of 2 yards as Patrick Willis again in on the play. This is just what you were talking about, the confidence Jim Harbaugh has in his defense.
And they're making him, they're earning his confidence because they really are controlling this football game up front. I think if you're Darrell Bevel, Pete Carroll, the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, at some point you got to put some trust in Tavares Jackson. They're winning the battle up front. You got to take some shots downfield.
Remember, they don't have Sidney Rice, as you pointed out, the big acquisition from the Vikings. So Darrell Bevel, see what he dials up, and now a timeout is called, or the 2-minute warning. Seahawks still have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Pete Carroll's Seahawks trailing Jim Harbaugh's 49ers 9-0. 2 minutes remain in the first half. 49ers leading 9-0. Seahawks with the ball on the 18. They have only 47 yards total offense thus far. Tavares Jackson, who's 7 of 9. Jackson gets hit as he lets it go, and it's incomplete. Good pressure by Patrick Willis. He's under siege the whole first half, John.
Well, Patrick Willis is a guy that they wanted to get more involved in their pass rush this year. Again, they kind of show a Rex Ryan, everybody kind of moving around. Patrick Willis kind of lurking there, but he's going to come and put the heat on Tavares Jackson. Seattle Seahawks struggling now, 0 for 7 on 3rd down on the day.
So John Ryan will be punting once again, and Ted Ginn at the 36, going straight ahead and dropped it midfield. So once again, for a broken record. Good field position for the 49ers. Clint Gresham, the long snapper, making the tackle at midfield. Right now, let's send it to Kurt Menefee.
All right, thanks, guys. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, we'll have all the scores and highlights from this first NFL Sunday, including a strong performance by the Chicago Bears, plus the Fox Sports ticker with up to the second stats. It's all coming your way on the Visa Halftime Report. In the meantime, we'll let these guys work and get it back to you.
All right, and they're going to go to work pretty soon, although they're pretty casual there.
Studio life's rough.
Yeah.
Rough, huh?
You chose this, though. First down, they'll mark it at the 49 of the Seahawks. Quick pass, and it's caught by the tight end Vernon Davis, who gets 5 yards, and Cam Chancellor is there, and Kendall Hunter came out at the tailback. Frank Gore is all right, in case you may be wondering about his health. And lining up without the huddle, and Hunter, the back. 49ers have 2 timeouts left on 2nd down and 5. Smith looks like he's in trouble, takes off, has the first down, and slides at the 31. Picks up 11.
Look who helps him out here. Guy 5'7", 190 pounds. Coming out here on Aaron Curry. Great job scanning the field, looking where the pressure's coming from, getting a big block, and Alex Smith does the rest. Coverage downfield, okay, I'll go make yards with my legs. Nice job by the 49ers offense.
No huddle, and Frank Gore is back in there after the 11-yard pickoff. Nowhere to go, and there's the pass thrown behind, and a great catch by Vernon Davis, who goes out of bounds at the 14. Earl Thomas defending, and a terrific play, athletic play by Davis, picking up 18.
Coverage has been good downfield. Again, you extend the play, put it to one of your best players in Vernon Davis, put it on his back shoulder. That's a mismatch. Vernon Davis on Aaron Curry in pass coverage.
4 catches for 49 yards for Davis, whose 27-yard catch in the last series set up that 3rd field goal for the 49ers. So it'll be a first down at the 14. '49ers trying to punch one in before intermission. Smith goes underneath, and the pass caught by Crabtree. And now they have to separate Braylon Edwards and Earl Thomas, in a timeout called by the 49ers. That's their 2nd timeout.
Now, Dick, I think if you're the 49ers, you've been down in the red zone 3 times today. You've come away with 3 field goals. You've got 29 seconds. You've got a timeout. You got to take some shots at the end zone. Your defense is playing well, but you really want to become a football team. You got to learn to turn it into touchdowns inside the red zone.
And that means Alex Smith has to get it done. We talked about his red zone success, 7 of 9 for 77 yards. Let's see his history.
See Alex Smith in 2005, the first overall pick in the draft. Really hasn't been as bad as people like to paint the picture. He's been a pretty good quarterback. The team struggled. Jim Harbaugh pointed it out. Can't be all on the quarterback.
2nd down and 6, and there is the shovel pass to Gore. 1-yard gain and 1 timeout left for the 49ers. And now San Francisco uses it right there. Their first timeout came when Jim Harbaugh lost a challenge earlier in the game. So with 21 seconds left in the first half, it'll be 3rd down and about 5, and no more timeouts for San Francisco.
And San Fran has really struggled in 3rd down as well. Only 1 for 7 on 3rd down today. Excuse me, 1 for 7 on 3rd down. That's led to a lot of these field goals.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. It has been a defensive struggle, but the 49ers have had the edge, with Vic Fangio throwing the kitchen sink at Tavares Jackson. Good field position throughout the half, but now a big 3rd and 5 for San Francisco, and movement in the line. And we'll have a flag. Anthony Hargrove, who was just signed, had jumped for Seattle.
encroachment defense, number 94.
He was just activated.
Penalty. It'll still be third down.
That's not a way to endear yourself to your new coaches. Anthony Hargrove just picked up on Friday. Makes this a much more manageable third down situation for the 49ers.
They needed 5 yards, and they are just still short of it, so no timeouts remaining. But now it is third, and I would say less than a yard from the 4.
With 0 timeouts, I think you better think about taking shots to the end zone rather than just converting this first down. One-on-one with Braylon Edwards down here.
And now Crabtree jumps out wide to the right. On third down, there's the pass to Edwards. Off his hands. Flag goes down. And Brandon Browner may be called for pass interference, and he will. And that'll make it first and goal at the 1.
And this is the dimension Braylon Edwards brings to this offense. Alex Smith has the confidence. One-on-one battle. I think Braylon Edwards is going to win. I at least know it's his ball or no one's ball.
So it is first and goal at the 1 with 17 seconds left, and you can see Browner had the right hand on Edwards throughout that play. Alex Boone, number 75, has come in as an extra man up front.
I think in these short yard situations, they've ran the ball, they've ran the ball, they ran the ball. A play action would be incredibly effective right now for the San Francisco 49ers.
First and goal from the 1. And it is play action, and it is Alex Smith, and it is a touchdown. Well, these fans have been down on Alex Smith for a while, and he decided himself that he wanted to come back. And Jim Harbaugh said he had the character to want to come back under these circumstances. And he gets the touchdown, and now David Akers is in to try the point after with 12 seconds to go in the half. First touchdown of the game, and Akers, who has kicked 3 field goals, adds the extra point. And the 49ers on a 6-play, 49-yard drive lead it 16-0.
See Alex Smith to Braylon Edwards in the previous play. And then you run it, you run it, you run it, you get stuffed. Put your quarterback out on the corner on play action and let Alex Smith, whose toughness really endeared him to his head coach and Jim Harbaugh. And that looks like an old Jim Harbaugh at the quarterback position. I played against Jim Harbaugh. Jim was a tough guy. And you see Jim Harbaugh waiting for his quarterback there. That's good stuff between Alex Smith and Jim Harbaugh. One of the really interesting things that Alex Smith told us, Dick, was in the past, these defensive coaches, all good guys, but they would say before the game, good luck. And it was like he was going out there all alone. Jim Harbaugh, he feels like, is out there with them. He understands the nature of that quarterback position, and he feels like he's got a guy in Jim Harbaugh who's going to give him all the tools to finally be successful.
When we were done talking to Jim Harbaugh, we got up and I said good luck, and he didn't want to hear that. He's not all about luck, is he? So it's 16-0, and the 49ers have scored 4 times in their last 4 drives, but finally get the touchdown, and 12 seconds remain in the half. And Akers, who has accounted for 10 of those 16 points, keeps it on the ground. Picked up by Brandon Mebane. Flag will go down with 6 seconds on the clock. So Brandon Mebane
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 36. The kicking team hit the player out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Shawntae Spencer with the personal foul, and that'll give Seattle with 6 seconds to go field position. Not much time left as Alex Smith with a 1-yard run and was 4 for 4 passing in that possession.
Well, a costly penalty for San Francisco and Shante Spencer, though. You put them in position now, Seattle, with 3 timeouts, at least to make 1 catch, get out of bounds, and then give your newly acquired kicker, Steve Hauschka, an opportunity to kick a field goal.
6 seconds, not a lot of time. Tavares Jackson. Flag goes down as he fires it up inside the 5. And the pass is intercepted by Tremaine Brock, but a flag down at the line of scrimmage. No time showing on the clock. And the penalty
is over.
Will be against Seattle. Declined. That is the end of the first half. With the score, the 49ers 16 and the Seahawks nothing. Crowd cheering Alex Smith. Fox NFL Sunday continues with the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Getting ready for the start of the third quarter here at Candlestick Park. A beautiful day in the Bay Area with the 49ers leading the Seahawks by a score of 16-0. Dick Stockton along with John Lynch, and what really jumps out at you, 0 points for Seattle, only 37 total yards.
Well, Pete Carroll told us when we visited them at their hotel yesterday, halftime adjustments are going to be key. Well, they better come up with some good ones, because 37 yards, that's not cutting it. The San Francisco defensive line's been dominant up front.
What can Seattle do now?
I think they got to get Mike Williams involved. You got to go to the quick throws. You can't protect. Go to the quick throws. Get Mike Williams and Zach Miller. Got to find a way to get them involved. Got to trust your quarterback a little bit.
All right, the 49ers will get the ball first. Want to remind you to follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL.
Dick, the 49ers will get the ball. And Alex Smith, really a good first half. 9 of 11, 82 yards. Haven't been really good on third down. Haven't converted a third down yet. But I felt a rhythm starting to be established late in that first half.
And you remember the 49ers won the toss and they deferred. Now they're getting the ball. I don't think Jim Harbaugh minds that right now. He had a problem earlier. Ted Ginn will run it out from the end zone as we start the second half. Ginn is slowed down, and there's a flag on the play. And Ginn is ridden out of bounds. And another penalty marker flies.
During the return, holding number 49 in the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And here is that penalty. And right now, let's send it down to Jamie Maggio.
Dick, thank you so much. Speaking with Coach Harbaugh at the half, he said, you know, their execution has been good. They had a few opportunities there for scoring. They didn't get them. They ended up with the field goals. He wants them to be more efficient. As for Pete Carroll, he said to get back in this game, they need more first downs. How do you do that? You have better protection for Tavares Jackson. Guys, back to you.
Well, and Pete Carroll said it. You need better protection for Tavares Jackson. I don't think you can, with this young offensive lineman, completely abandon Marshawn Lynch in the run game. And you heard Jim Harbaugh fairly pleased with the execution. Third downs where they got to really come alive.
49ers will start from the 7. Alex Smith completed 9 of 11 for 82 yards. The pitch is to Gore. Changes direction and is dropped at the 5. Loss of 2. With Chris Clemens making the play for Seattle. Clemens, who tweaked a knee and missed practice for a couple of days, led the team in sacks last year with 11. And overall, this has not been a bad defensive effort by the Seahawks in their own right.
Not at all. 3 wins really in the red zone, keeping them to field goals. Problem is their offense hasn't been able to do anything.
Second down and 12. On On the design rollout, and the pass caught by Crabtree, who's hit no. Incomplete is the call with Trufant covering. So it'll be 3rd down and 12 at the 5-yard line, and this is where Seattle can make a statement defensively.
Well, and Seattle's thrived here. 0 for 6 are the San Francisco 49ers in the first half on 3rd down. 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 plus in the National Football League. It's tough to convert. Don't want to put yourself in those situations.
Even if you are a good offensive team.
That's right.
So we have said the 49ers have had good field position throughout the first half. Now the Seahawks looking to get the field position here if they can stop San Francisco on 3rd and 12. And the running play to Gore going outside, and Gore is hit and stopped at the 12 by Leroy Hill, and it will be 4th down. A gain of 7 yards, and the Seahawks defense does their job.
Nice job by the Seattle defense. And I think, Jim, if you're Jim Harbaugh, you got to be a little bit careful. Your defense has performed incredibly well in the first half, but running it on 3rd and 12, they're very conservative. He's willing to play the field position game right now. But at some point, you got to be able to convert on 3rd down.
Andy Lee will be kicking from the 2, gets off a beauty, and here's Leon Washington at the 30. Leon Washington, a dangerous return man, and he will give the Seahawks good field position as he is tackled at the 44-yard line by Blake Costanzo. Seattle coaching staff liking the special teams and the defensive play. Gus Bradley.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Madden NFL 12, available now. EA Sports, it's in the game. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Dick Stockton, John Lynch, and Jamie Maggio. Good field position for Seattle. 3 sacks by the 49ers. And neither team has been prolific offensively in this game. Only 11 first downs. But let's see what the Seahawks do here as they start from their 44. Flags are down, and Tavares Jackson completes the pass to Marshawn Lynch. But if this were Canadian football, maybe this would have been a good play.
Well, I don't know if you can blame that on the lockout, but that wasn't pretty. Tavares Jackson tries to execute a shift, but never let his guys lets his guys get set.
You see this in the CFL, the kind of shift we saw on that one.
Two fouls on the play. Defense offside, number 94. Also illegal shift, 2 men in motion by the offense. By a rule, those penalties offset. Still first down.
So Justin Smith offside on the play. Let's look at the key acquisitions by the Seahawks in the offseason.
Well, they brought in Tavares Jackson, obviously. Now, unfortunately for the Seattle Seahawks, Sidney Rice and Robert Gallery, they aren't here today, and that's hampering this offense.
On the rollout, Tavares Jackson fakes downfield, and his pass to the 40 is incomplete, intended for Ben Obamano, and a low pass thrown behind him.
And the reason I say that, you look at the offensive line. Robert Gallery not only is an outstanding player who really played well for Oakland last year, he's the one veteran on this offensive line where they start 2 rookies on the right side. You look at Sidney Rice, he's the explosive guy outside who takes some pressure off Tavares Jackson. Also very familiar with Tavares Jackson and Darrell Bevel, who came from Minnesota.
Zach Miller has caught only 1 pass. They expect a lot from the former Raider. Stepping up and going deep, and this pass overthrown, intended for Obamano. It looks like Ben Obamano has been the lone target for most of the day for Tavares Jackson, and covered downfield by the former Redskin Carlos Rogers.
You know, and I like it, though. Incomplete, forcing the ball maybe a little bit, but sometimes you got to back a defense off, and just throwing the ball deep can have a little bit of an effect. But here we go again, 3rd and 10 for the Seattle Seahawks.
When someone did that with you, what did you feel?
You back up a little bit. Yeah, as a defensive back, the guy's gonna test you deep. You start backing up a couple yards and don't play quite as aggressive.
One of the great safeties of modern times, John Lynch with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, now up here for Fox, and this pass is going to be caught And Doug Baldwin will have a first down, so it looks like they're stretching the field a little bit more as Jackson hits Baldwin, gain of 12 and a first down into San Francisco territory to the 45.
Well, we talked about those halftime adjustments. Tavares Jackson gets time. They pick up the blitz, nice protection, and Doug Baldwin, his second third down conversion of the game. The rookie from Stanford proven valuable to Tavares Jackson on third down especially.
First time they've been across midfield since the first part of the game as Marshawn Lynch bounces off the pack, and Lynch with a first down, his best run of the game by far, and a 12-yard gain. Terrell Brown, 49er cornerback, making a tackle, so 2 chunks of yardage picked up here.
Everyone saw Marshawn Lynch, that outstanding run in the postseason. Marshawn Lynch isn't easy to bring down. I played against Marshawn Lynch. That's a load. He's a guy who breaks tackles. You got to stick with the run game. Seattle Seahawks looking to establish a little rhythm early in the second half.
First down from the 32 of the 49ers. And here's Lynch, who flips on the end around to Obamano. In Obamano. And he picks up another first down. So Pete Carroll and that offense opening it up, and Median Williams, the former Viking, making the tackle. 37 yards on 3 plays, chalked up by the Seahawks, and they'll have a first down at the 19.
Well, notice the unbalanced line. It's Anthony McCoy at tight end. Looks like they're going to pull James Carpenter, go to the right, but here comes Ben Obamanu, and a nice block by Tavares Jackson on Patrick Willis. Good tempo by the Seattle Seahawks thus far.
Lynch getting a breather. Leon Washington in a tailback. And there's the pass, caught at the 11-yard line by Mike Williams. And you talked about they've got to go to Mike Williams, the former USC star who played for Pete Carroll, and the former Lion, gets 8 yards and his first catch of the game.
And you start establishing some rhythm. You run the ball effectively. You run a little reverse. You get one-on-one coverage on Mike Williams. Prior to this, they've been given a lot of attention. Sidney Rice isn't here. They're going to double him up, but you run the football, you'll take that attention off Mike Williams.
Golden Tate lines up to the right. Hand off to Lynch. And Lynch getting to the 9. Picks up 2 yards and needed to, and Patrick Willis with the tackle, and it may be a first down, and it will be first and goal now for the Seahawks.
Dick, I like what Seattle Seahawks and offensive coordinator Darrell Bevler are doing right now. You've seen them get in and out of the huddle. The tempo is starting to create some momentum for the Seattle Seahawks offense.
We talked about the adjustments. Pete Carroll said, I'll make big ones at halftime. First and goal from the 8. Pass into the end zone, and it's knocked away. Obamano, defended by Carlos Rogers, who played it perfectly.
Textbook coverage by Carlos Rogers. He's going to sit at that goal line and wait. You don't turn your head. You play into the receiver, and you play his hands. Very nice coverage by Carlos Rogers, the free agent acquisition at corner for the San Francisco 49ers.
And they really have revamped that secondary. Deshaun Goldson not playing today. So the corners are Rogers and Terrell Brown. Second and goal from the 8. Here's the slant, caught, touchdown, Golden Tate. An 8-yard pass from Tavares Jackson to the former Notre Dame receiver Golden Tate, and the Seahawks score on a very impressive drive. And once again, John, they had good field position for the start.
Well, they did. And you talk about the quick throws. This is just a screen right here. A little quick play action. You clear it with Mike Williams. All the attention on him. You slip Golden Tate underneath. Very good design. Very good execution by the Seahawks.
And Stephen Hauschka with the extra point. It's good. And the Seattle Seahawks coming back here in the third quarter with less than 5 minutes elapsed in the third, going 9 yards on 56 yards, 9 plays, and it's now 16-7. 49ers in front. Well, in the first half, the Seahawks gained a total of 37 yards, and on their first drive here, 56, capped by a Tavares Jackson Golden Tate 8-yard combination, and the Seahawks trailing now by 9.
Well, Pete Carroll told us halftime adjustments would be key. They'd be huge. They obviously went in there and made some good halftime adjustments.
Hauschka will be kicking off. Ted Ginn Jr. And with the new kickoff rule from the 35, in which you can only run up from 5 yards back, we have not had as many touchbacks as we anticipated, because Leon Washington and Ted Ginn have run it out most of the time. And this one to Ginn. He'll run it out from about 6 yards. Ted Ginn carries it out beyond the 20 to about the 23-yard line, and that's where Alex Smith will go to work. It'll be first down. Well, next week, Fox Saturday Baseball. It'll be the Tampa Bay Rays facing the Red Sox in Boston, and the Rays beat the Red Sox once again to sweep the series, and they are now 3 games back in the loss column. 3.5 overall for the wild card, and the Red Sox with some serious problems. Kevin Youkilis is out with a hip injury till next week. The pitching hasn't been what it is, but what a run by the Rays. Next week, the Rays and the Red Sox. First down from the 23. Braylon Edwards comes in motion toward the line. Here is Gore. Frank Gore, nothing doing. Brandon Mebane leading the way. No gain on the play.
I think, Dick, if you're Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, Jim Harbaugh, the head coach for the San Francisco 49ers, you've really got to guard against just playing this game safe. The Seahawks have now offensively established rhythm. Early on, you were shutting them out. You've got to go win this football game. You can't just hold on.
And you know, the Seahawks in their last defensive possession did a pretty good job stopping the 49ers. And so now the momentum has changed to their advantage on both sides of the ball, perhaps. Second down and 10. Smith going up top, and the pass was nearly picked off. Vernon Davis and Cam Chancellor nearly picked off the pass. Brandon Browner was step for step with Vernon Davis, and Chancellor coming over nearly got it.
You watch Vernon Davis, he can run a little corner route, and just watch at the end of this is unlike Vernon Davis. Tough football player. Looks like he got a little alligator arms, as we used to call it. He also looked like he got a piggyback ride for Marcus Trufant.
And Alex Smith says, tough one there, got to come back. Third down and 10. Pressure coming on Alex Smith. Dumps it off on the screen pass to Vernon Davis, the tight end, and Davis is going to be run out of bounds. It'll be 12 yards shy of the first down. So the Seattle defense getting the job again. This time Anthony Hargrove, who just joined the team and knows how to give them that high body bump.
You know, and you at some point, Dick, you got to trust your quarterback in that high body bump. But you got to trust your quarterback. Alex Smith has, I think, earned Jim Harbaugh's trust. Third down and 12. Let him take the ball downfield. Again, you got to be careful not to just hold on for a win.
Leon Washington is back. Flag goes down. Penalty marker. Washington hemmed in and dropped at the 30 by Navarro Bowman. 2 flags. Actually, there are 3 yellow flags down on the field. 54-yard punt by John Ryan. We'll check that. Andy Lee.
On the play. Illegal block in the back. 52 of the return team. That penalty's declined. During the kick, holding number 20 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So they're going to take the holding penalty by Justin Forsett, and we'll be back.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Dodge Journey, the search engine for the real world.
Back here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, Dick Stockton along with John Lynch and Jamie Maggio, the Seattle Seahawks have grappled back and seem to have the momentum. Let's see what they do starting from their 15. And the handoff is to Marshawn Lynch, and Lynch brings it out for a 4-yard gain to the 19.
And Dick, as we go back to that last drive, we talked about halftime adjustments. Well, what were they? They were, number one, getting Marshawn and Lynch involved in this run game. Get that run game going. You go with some deception. Ben out Obamanu on the reverse. And then the quick throws. Get Mike Williams involved. You get some confidence in your quarterback, and great design on the touchdown to Golden Tate. Get the run game involved, quick throws. Tavares Jackson starting to get some confidence. Good formula for the Seattle Seahawks.
And the defense has come up big on 2 possessions, 2nd down and 6. And shy of the 1st down is Tavares Jackson carrying the ball. Paris Harrelson makes the grab behind. Picked up about 3.5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and short.
I've seen numerous times Tavares Jackson look downfield and having to hold the football. To me, that's good coverage. This secondary that really was a question mark for the San Francisco 49ers coming in, doing a very nice job for defensive coordinator Vic Fangio.
To be an important play for the Seahawks. They started that last possession on the 44 and scored. Started this from the 15, and they need a long 2 right here. Justin Forsett checking in at running back, and here is Jackson being chased. And the pass incomplete. Doug Baldwin was the target, and so the 49ers clamp down on 3rd and short, and the Seahawks will have to kick.
Again, we talked about this San Francisco 49ers secondary. Tremaine Brock right down here at the end. Right down at the bottom, you see coverage by Terrell Brown. Tremaine Brock really, though, locks up Doug Baldwin, the initial target for Tavares Jackson. Good job by the 49ers defense.
John Ryan with the kick, and he sends Ted Ginn way back, and it goes into the end zone for the touchback. 77-yard punt by John Ryan. So the 49ers, who are leading 16-7, 7:10 to go in the 3rd, will take the ball at the 20 when we return. 49ers will start from the 20, leading 16-7. Alex Smith, 10 of 14 for 79 yards, scored on the ground. Frank Gore, 34 yards rushing, and Vernon Davis has 5 catches. Kendall Hunter is the setback. Play action. And the pass caught by Delaney Walker. First catch of the day for Walker, and he'll be stopped by K.J. Wright for no gain.
One thing you're seeing from defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, Gus Bradley. Pete Carroll and Gus Bradley told me, we're going to pare down the game plan. We're younger. We're going to turn these young kids loose and let them play football. And that's really what you're starting to see from this Seahawks defense. Is, all right, we'll give you a catch, but we're going to come and swarm and make the tackle. 1-yard loss on that completion by Alex Smith.
And you mentioned Lofa Tatupu, who has been a standard bearer for the Seahawks, not with the club anymore. David Hawthorne out with a sore knee, who was the starter, and the rookie K.J. Wright, who made the last tackle in the middle. 2nd and 11. Frank Gore back in the game, and the quick is out to Joshua Morgan, but the Seahawks are there. Several players, including Brandon Browner and Earl Thomas, and a loss. Maybe they'll give him 2 yards. In any event, it'll be 3rd down and about 9 coming up for Alex Smith and the 49ers.
A tremendous swarming defense. Here's what I'm talking about with Jim Harbaugh. You got to be careful now. 5 in 3rd down situations, 5 runs, 3 passes. Usually that's tilted heavily the other way. You got to trust your quarterback. You're in a 3rd and 8 situation. You got to let him throw the ball downfield.
Well, Seattle extended the field, and that's something the 49ers may have to do as well. Here is Alex Smith getting out of the pocket. Will run and will be shy of the 1st down by 2 yards as he is stopped at the 28-yard line. Matt McCoy and Aaron Curry wouldn't let him get any more, and so it's 4th down, and once again Andy Lee comes on to punt for the 49ers.
Yeah, and good defense by the Seattle Seahawks reacting to Alex Smith running with the football. But again, conservative play by the 49ers. Your Alex Smith You don't want to throw interceptions, but at some point you got to take the ball downfield.
Leon Washington is back as Andy Lee with a great punt sends Washington inside his 15. Flag is down upfield. Washington breaks away. He's got blockers. Leon Washington still going inside the 15 and finally down. And we'll see what the penalty is all about. Reggie Smith finally brings down Leon Washington after a 73-yard return. 49ers indicating it's against the Seahawks.
Illegal block in the back. Number 21 in the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
I don't know about number 21, but Brandon Browner seems to hit 49er in the back and waste an outstanding effort by Leon Washington.
They don't have a 21. NFC West battle on the first weekend of the season, and the Seahawks have a first down. Tavares Jackson pass intended for Obamano, and a flag goes down as Medial Williams on the coverage. Williams, who the former Viking, played with Tavares Jackson.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 95 in the defense. Clothesline, running back as he came through the line of scrimmage. 15 yards to the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Ricky Jean-Francois.
Jeff Triplett called it right. I'd call that a clothesline, and that's not legal.
Marshawn Lynch, dangerous. So it'll be a first down. The Seahawks have made 6 playoff appearances in the past 8 years. 49ers have not been in the playoffs or have not had a winning record in 8 seasons. Trying to break it under their first year coach Jim Harbaugh. Here's Marshawn Lynch up the middle, and Lynch with a good carry gets to the 36 for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
What hasn't Cam Newton done today? He goes up and over for his first NFL rushing touchdown. He's thrown for 2 scores as well. He's also had an interception, and after this touchdown gets called for an excessive celebration penalty. Hey, just a typical day for the first-round pick, right? 21-14, Carolina on top. Dick and John.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Second down and 3, and again they go to Lynch, and this time he's stopped behind by Ray McDonald. Ray McDonald has played a solid game as a run defender, and there'll be a loss of 2.
And Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, when I visited with him the other day, he pointed out Ray McDonald. He said, this guy has been a pleasant surprise. I knew he was a good football player. I didn't know he was this good, and he's been all over the field here today, Dick.
As has Justin Smith. The front 3 have been effective for the 49ers. Tough Justin Forsett replacing Lynch at running back. Lynch going out. He has gained 30 yards on 12 carries. Third down and 5 for Seattle. Jackson. And did he have control? He did. It's a catch. Mike Williams made the catch. The official was right there. And a first down, picking up 12 yards to the 47.
Well, you see Tavares Jackson hang in there in the pocket and throw it to Mike Williams. I think you want to look twice. Mike Williams bobbles the football. Does he have possession? It looks like he does, and does indeed tap 2 feet.
And the no huddle, and they're running, so there's no challenge. And going deep is Tavares Jackson, and the pass intended for Golden Tate. Overthrown with Rodgers on the coverage. Let's see this play again at the sideline.
Watch Mike Williams. And you look at those feet right down here. He's now established possession, and he does get 2 feet. Nice job by Mike Williams adjusting, and also a nice job by Tavares Jackson of quick tempo in it up to the line of scrimmage, not giving Jim Harbaugh an opportunity to throw the challenge flag.
Neither quarterback has thrown for 100 yards, and we have 3:10 remaining in the third. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and the flip is over to Forsett. Justin Forsett, the former California Golden Bear, is upended about a yard shy of the first down by Dante Whitner. Came over from the Buffalo Bills, and they expect him to have impact in the secondary.
Well, he had impact right now, right there. He's got offensive linemen all over him. That's a football play right there. Sometimes you just got to defeat people and make the play. He doesn't make that. Justin Forsett's in the end zone. Great play by Dante Whitner.
So in the waning moments of this third quarter, the Seahawks have scored a touchdown, taking over momentum to a great extent. It'll be 3rd down and 2, and here's Jackson, and it's caught by Anthony McCoy, and wide open is the tight end at a 1st down to the 35 of San Francisco, picking up 10.
You obviously got a bust in coverage. San Fran's going to come with pressure from this area. Someone's got to be on the coverage. No one there. That's a bust for the San Francisco 49er defense, and Tavares Jackson does a nice job of diagnosing that and finding the open receiver in Anthony McCoy.
Marshawn Lynch back in a tailback. 1st down at the 35, and here's Lynch getting the call. Got a breather with a couple of plays on the sideline and gets 3 yards, with Bowman making the play. And under 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Seahawks were down at halftime by 16-0 and scored on their first possession as Tavares Jackson hit Golden Tate with a touchdown, and night and day from the first half to the second.
You're starting to feel on this drive that same momentum, that same rhythm start to be established for Tavares Jackson and the Seahawks offense.
2nd down and 7. Up the middle. Incomplete. McCoy is hit by Medea Williams, and a flag is down, and a 15-yard play. And was there interference or just a good hit?
They're going to call personal foul on a defenseless player. Remember, the league expanded those rules this offseason. You're going to watch Medea Williams.
Yes.
They'll call that every time. You know, I know it's tough. I don't like it. But that's where the league has gone. They've told the officials to call it. You go to that head or neck area with any part of your body.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Shoulder to the head of a defenseless receiver. The 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
And it doesn't have to be the helmet in that instance.
Yeah, but wait just a second now. I think when you really look at that in slow motion, I think his shoulder hits Anthony McCoy's shoulder rather than his helmet. But they've told these officials to err on the side of caution. The officials, I was at the officials meeting. They've been told to err on the side of caution. When you get those kind of hits, that's where this league's gone. You can call it soft, whatever. That's the way they're calling it.
And here's Marshawn Lynch breaking a tackle. And Lynch fighting his way, still on his feet, gets to the 11, picking up 6 yards. Do you think you would have been able to play under what is now the safety rules of the NFL?
I've given my play check back every week, because to me that's football. To me that's football. You can't, I think at some point you mess with the integrity of the game as you see another flag come down.
Well, they've made no bones about it that safety is the #1 priority here on hits. Jeff Triplett.
Ineligible receiver on the end of the line. Number 68. Did not report and lined up on the end of the line. The 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
And that's Breno Giacomini, who started the game at right tackle with the changes up front.
Dick, as I finish my thought on the defenseless players, look, I'm all for player safety, but I think also football is football, and you can only protect it so far. This is a physical game. It's a violent game. That's what the fans sign up for. It's what the players. I applaud Roger Goodell for trying to protect players. I think you can take it too far, and I think these expanded defenseless players as receivers has done just that.
Well said, and you've never been a reckless player anyway, even in your hard-hitting days with the Bucs. So it'll be 1st and 15 with under a minute to play in the third. Tavares Jackson has time, and he goes underneath to Marshawn Lynch, who is downed immediately at the 20 by Navarro Bowman. He gets 2 yards. Seahawks trying to cash in and narrow the gap. They were down 16-0 at halftime.
Remember, if you're the Seahawks, you've got a 2-score game still. So you need points. With Tavares Jackson, would you love a touchdown? Absolutely. But make sure you get those 3. Don't be careless with the football.
This quarter, only 10 yards for the 49ers, over 100, and the ball is knocked away. And it was Aldon Smith deflecting that pass that was intended for Golden Tate. So 3rd and long now for the Seahawks.
You want to see why Aldon Smith was the number 7 pick player in the draft. He gets cut down. You got to stay on your feet. Does stay on his feet. Then has the athleticism, the athletic ability to get up and put his hands on that ball. Great play by Aldon Smith.
Third and 13. Losing the center exchange is Tavares Jackson, but he covers up. But on 3rd and 13, the Seahawks can't really run a play, and so 4th down coming up. And the field goal team will be coming on. Steve Hauschka, but he'll make this field goal try as the first play of the 4th quarter, as time is going to run out. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, the 49ers 16 and the Seahawks 7. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. And we begin the 4th quarter here at Candlestick Park as the Seahawks get the touchdown in the 3rd. And now we'll try to narrow the deficit. A 39-yard attempt by Hauschka, the former Bronco kicker. John Ryan, the punter, is holding. And Hauschka's kick is good. And the field goal was set up by this Medial Williams personal foul.
Good hit to me. The referees told to call it this year, though.
Today's game is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by Subway Restaurants. Try the new oven crisp chicken sandwich today.
Here at Candlestick Park, it's been a tale of 2 halves, with the 49ers leading 16-0 after the first half, and the Seahawks getting 10 back here in the 3rd quarter. Actually, the last 3 at the first play of the 4th quarter, and Hauschka will be kicking off for Seattle, and Ted Ginn standing about 3 yards from the back of the end zone. They've run them out mostly today, though, John.
They have. So much for this. We're not going to have any kick returns because we've had a lot of them.
And the wind blowing, and Marcus Trufant will have to hold on the kickoff. These teams split last year, and they were blowouts. 49ers winning 40-21 here, and Seattle 31-6 up in the Pacific Northwest. Ginn on the run, 2 yards in the end zone. Ted Ginn, and a fine return, bringing it out to the 27, where Malcolm Smith takes him down. 27-yard return by Ted Ginn, and an injured 49er on the field, and that's Blake Costanzo. Early in, everyone said if the Lions have a healthy Matthew Stafford, they're going to make an impact. Ray Rice with a great running game, and Deshaun Jackson, what a day receiving, as the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Lions won.
Well, for the Detroit Lions, you keep Matthew Stafford healthy, you've got a bright and promising season ahead of you. The way that defensive line is taken over, led by Ndamukong Suh, that's scary. They haven't even seen Nick Fairley on the field. You keep Matthew Stafford healthy. Blake Costanzo in their first game looks like he's got some early season cramps.
Earlier in the game, Michael Robinson, the starting fullback for the Seahawks, after his only carry, was helped off with a sprained ankle and has not come back.
And Dick, I think it's really important. Here we are, 14 minutes left in the 4th quarter. The 49ers have yet to convert a 3rd down in this game. 0 for 9 on 3rd down. If you're going to win this football game, you better start cleaning that up. A lot of that's production on first and second down, but you better start converting third down conversions.
Would you think that this is a first down passing play if you're going to start to open it up a little bit?
Well, I'd like to see Braylon Edwards get involved in this game. We've seen a lot, heard a lot about the acquisition. I think it's going to mean a lot to this team, but get him involved in the game. I think in moments like this, when the game's tight, go to your best players. Those would be Vernon Davis, Braylon Edwards, and Frank Gore.
And the Seahawks have run off 13 more plays than the 49ers, and it's Ginn and Morgan as the two wide receivers, two tight ends, lining up now for the 49ers. And on first down, play action, and Smith going underneath to Frank Gore, and Gore picking up about 7 yards. Earl Thomas coming up from free safety for the play.
They had Ted Ginn in the ball game, and they tried to take a shot to him right there. Good coverage by Brandon Browner, the corner. They're going to see Ted Ginn take a little dip, a little bit of a double move. Alex Smith wants him the whole time. Good coverage. Good decision by Alex Smith to check it down. And Earl Thomas continues to be all over the field for the Seattle Seahawks.
They give him 6 yards on the play. So it's 2nd and 4. And here is Frank Gore, head down. And Gore will be stopped after a short game, bringing up 3rd and short. K.J. Wright and Aaron Curry, two of the Seahawk linebackers, stop him.
Here we are on 3rd down again. It's been heavily slanted towards running the football on 3rd down. That hasn't been successful. They haven't converted one yet. I think you got to open it up and put it in your quarterback's hands.
Kendall Hunter, the rookie from Oklahoma State, replacing Gore at running back on 3rd and 3. In motion is Marin Norris, the fullback, out to the left. Smith's pass, and it's caught by Braylon Edwards, and the first down to the 46. So Braylon Edwards picking up 12 yards. Trufant on the stop.
Well, watch Braylon Edwards right here. One of his skills, that big body. He's going to essentially box out like a basketball player, Marcus Trufant. That gives your quarterback a lot of confidence. Braylon Edwards, you brought him in here. Start utilizing him, and good job by the 49ers of recognizing that.
I was going to say, why did you bring him in then?
That's right.
Trufant going after the ball, trying to knock it down. So Braylon Edwards, 3rd catch for 27 yards. And that's the first 3rd down conversion for San Francisco in the game. And here is an end around to Ted Ginn. And again, will pick up, after all of that, maybe a yard. So the end around attempt for Ginn, as we are early here in the 4th quarter. And the wind has been howling here at Candlestick Park. Temperatures in the mid-60s when we started the game, but it's been a pleasant afternoon all the way around.
What would you expect? I sat through many of baseball games here as a young Stanford student, froze my tail off.
That's another story about the cold weather here when the Giants played in this park. 2nd down and 10. Smith throws it. Caught at the 30. Joshua Morgan. And opening it up 26 yards. Joshua Morgan.
There's the confidence in your quarterback. You get good protection up front. Good pickup, and Alex Smith throws an absolute dart. Tight seam, tight area. He threads the needle to Joshua Morgan in between Marcus Trufant and Cam Chancellor. That's a big-time throw. We talked to Alex Smith. He talks about, we'll get to it after this play, his interaction with Jim Harbaugh and why he chose to come back as a free agent.
First down, and Frank Gore back in the lineup, and Gore bulls his way inside the 25. Aaron Curry making the tackle, but a flag goes down, and a penalty thrown at the 20 after the 6-yard pickup by Gore.
Illegal blocking the back. Number 84, the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
It'll be against Morgan.
And Dick, back to that story, Alex Smith, we asked him, What'd you think when Jim Harbaugh was first hired? He said, well, I didn't know if I'd be here. I thought it was a great hire. Next thing you know, Jim Harbaugh calls him up. He brings him in. What's the first thing they do? They go play catch out on the field. They have quarterback competitions. They watch a little Stanford film. And Alex Smith said quickly we learned that we really had an affinity for each other. We liked each other, and this is someplace I'd love to play.
And Jim Harbaugh likes, among other things, the smarts of Alex Smith. Handoff is to Gore, and who is hit. And Alan Branch makes the tackle, and Jim Harbaugh still yearns for his days as a quarterback, doesn't he?
There's Alex Smith dropping back, throwing to, who is that? Is that Braylon Edwards? No, that's Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh can still spin it pretty well. Looks like good form by Jim Harbaugh. But you're not a quarterback anymore. Put that whistle in your mouth, Jim.
Well, Jim's trying to make it quite a parlay today as his brother John Harbaugh won big as the Ravens beat the Steelers 35-7 earlier in the day. Meanwhile, second down and 14 on the 32 of Seattle. Here's Gore. Gore breaks it up the middle. Frank Gore with a first down, and a flag goes down behind him. Wright takes him down at about the 17, picking up 16 yards plus. And let's see if we may have a face mask call.
A face mask or a horse collar, it looked like. See that at the end of the play here. I think it happened earlier, actually. Leroy Hill.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle by the defense.
You're right. Leroy Hill.
Personal foul will be added to the end of the run, half the distance, automatic first down.
There it is, Leroy Hill. Got a little bit of a face mask, but then got in. You get that back of the jersey, or you get the shoulder pad inside the jersey. He doesn't have to go to the ground. You pull a sudden tug and he goes backwards. They're going to call that every time. Again, a player safety issue.
John, you almost took me down. I was wondering what that push was, and I'm saying, who's pushing me down from behind? It was you. Kendall Hunter in the game on first down. Second effort by Hunter, and he gets to the 4. Second down and goal at the 4 as Hunter does his job, comes out of the game, and the veteran Frank Gore checks back in.
Now in this situation, I think it's all right to be a little conservative if you're Jim Harbaugh. You get 3 points on the board, you make it a 2-score game. So ball security is of a premium here. If you can run the football, go ahead, do it. You've done it a lot. Play action again might be open.
And the play is blown dead. And a timeout called by Seattle.
Seattle, they're first.
Seahawks saw something they didn't like and call a timeout, their first of the second half.
Well, we've got a football game here in San Francisco. 6-point game. Pete Carroll knows it. He shows the intensity. We've seen Jim Harbaugh on the intensity. Pete Carroll is intense as anybody, urging his defense on.
And just called a timeout before that play got underway. It'll be second and goal at the 4. 1 point, the 49ers had a 16-point lead. It's down to 6. Play action for Smith. Gets hit as he throws. Flags go down in the end zone, and the pass was intended for Braylon Edwards. Chris Clemens putting the pressure on Smith ultimately. And Browner.
There is no illegal contact as the quarterback was out of the pocket. It'll be third down.
So flag picked up for the second time today by the officials.
Watch Braylon Edwards working Brandon Browner in the back of the end zone. And again, once the once the quarterback escapes the pocket, illegal contact's okay so long as the ball's not in the air. See Chris Clemens put a hurting on Alex Smith at the end of the play.
They bring in Alex Boone, the 49ers do, for bulk up front. Third and goal from the 4. Here's Frank Gore. Second effort by Gore, but he's going to be stopped at the 2. So they decide to play it close to the vest. They get 2 yards, and it'll be 4th and goal from the 2. And it was Chris Clemens once again getting in on the play to prevent Gore from getting to the goal line. And they're going to send the field goal team in now. David Akers, who has kicked 3, comes on.
And the conservative call there, I don't have a problem with. Again, you put 3 points on the board, you've got yourself a 2-score game. So in this situation, 8 minutes left after the field goal, provided you execute this field goal, 9-point lead for the San Francisco 49ers.
20-yard attempt. Andy Lee holding for David Akers. And Akers with his 4th field goal of the game, and a flag goes down. And let's see what the call is. Brandon Browner came in on Akers. And let's just hold it a moment as far as the 3 points are concerned. Official coming over to talk to Jim Harbaugh. And let's see if we may have a roughing the kicker call on Akers. That was Brandon Browner.
Personal foul running into the roughing the kicker, number 39 of the defense.
Half the distance.
Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Big break for the 49ers. And they're going to take the 3 points off and have a 1st and goal.
Dick, that wasn't a whole lot of contact. That was a good acting job by David Akers, because there wasn't much contact from the young corner, Brandon Browner.
Earlier in the game, we had a roughing the kicker call on a punt, but not as major as what this one is by any stretch. Ball at the 1. On the personal foul. Here's Frank Gore, and he is hit behind by Matt McCoy and will lose a couple.
There's no quit in this Seattle defense. They continue to stand up in this red zone. Watch Matt McCoy. This is playing football. You've got to fly. You've got to cut it loose. Comes over the top. One of the best backs in football. Meets him in the backfield. Outstanding play by backup linebacker Matt McCoy.
Second and goal. And they go again to Gore, and they can't dent the Seahawks run defense. That time Alan Branch, and now the crowd expressing their displeasure with the play calling. The 49ers getting a gift with the roughing the kicker call and a 1st down. Now it becomes 3rd and goal from the 3. And now they're going to bring in Joshua Morgan and Braylon Edwards.
And it comes down to, do you trust your quarterback? Now, do you trust your quarterback to make a good decision? We talked about making it a 9-point lead with a field goal, but you got Braylon Edwards out there. You've talked about his ability. It's either his ball or no one's ball. Trust your quarterback to make a good throw.
And both of them line up to the right. Handoff is to Gore, and Gore getting close to the goal line, but does not get over. And it'll be 4th down. So they bring in the receivers and show a possible pass, and instead they go to the running play again.
Well, I think you go to the end zone, but here there's no question. The fans aren't going to like it, but you got to kick the field goal. 2-score game if you execute this field goal.
So Jim Harbaugh in his 1st game as an NFL head coach, taking over a 49er team that has had a long drought for winning seasons in playoffs, and Akers with a 19-yard attempt. And we'll have a flag and a delay of the game penalty coming up.
Delay of game offense. That penalty's declined. It's still 4th down.
So when all is said and done, John, if Akers makes the field goal, and he was attempting the field goal before the personal foul call, 1 minute and 20 seconds will run off the clock, and they would still end up with a 9-point lead.
And that's valuable time with a 9-point lead, and on a very questionable call in my mind on the roughing the kicker.
So the 19-yard attempt, and there's movement in the line and a flag. And Akers is saying, how many times do I have to kick it through?
We're going to go right back where we were. It looks like it's going to be offsides.
This is the 18th penalty called in this game. Busy day for Jeff Triplett.
Offense, false start. Number 62.
That's the
That penalty's declined. Still fourth down.
right guard, Shiloh Rashal. You think they've been over near that goal line for a long period of time? Akers says enough practice. Let's do it for real here.
He says, hey, I did a good acting job. Got you guys another opportunity for a touchdown. You keep making me kick this thing. Let's go.
Just under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. And Akers' kick is good. No flags. So they'll put 3 up on the board, and the 49ers now extend their lead to 19-10. Does he get an Oscar for this?
I give him one. I give him a 10.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
'49ers getting set to kick off, and Leon Washington back deep. Ran back 2 kickoffs for touchdowns last year, and this is a long kick by Akers, and it sails out of the end zone. So the Seahawks will start from the 20. It's a 2-score game with just under 6 minutes to go in the fourth. The 49ers in front. Well, the NFL is holding a special auction to benefit 9/11 charities. Autographed game-worn jerseys from today's games, along with today's game ball and other unique NFL items, will be auctioned to raise money for Tuesday's Children and My Good Deed. So visit NFL.com/auction today to bid on items. Tavares Jackson on first down has his pass deflected by Navarro Bowman. Zach Miller was the intended receiver. 2nd and 10.
If the Seattle Seahawks, you're really in this football game. You got a 2-score game. So what's important here is just putting points on the board. You got to get at least a field goal, and you got to do it in relatively quick order.
Seahawks used 1 timeout earlier here in the second half. 2nd and 10. Jackson's pass open, and it'll be a first down to Zach Miller. And for a game break, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, a nice day for San Diego running back Mike Tolbert. 3 touchdowns on the day, including 2 receiving. This one from Phil Rivers proved to be the game winner. And they knock off the Minnesota Vikings in the opener, 24-17 the final. Dick and John?
All right, Kurt, 13-yard pickup for the Seahawks. From the 33, Jackson's pass is caught at the 39 by Mike Williams, and Carlos Rogers rides him down, but not before. The Seahawks get 7. Very meticulous and precise right here, John.
Yeah, and it's not time to go no huddle, but you better kind of hasten your tempo as an offense. You gotta, I think that's when they've had their most success as an offense, when the tempo's increased. Tavares Jackson started to get comfortable.
Zach Miller, the tight end, is lined up wide to the left, and the pressure is on, and the pass is ruled incomplete to Ben Obamanu. Terrell Brown knocked it away, and that was close. And Brown slow getting up. Justin Smith getting to Tavares Jackson the way the 49ers did in the first half, getting pressure on.
You watch Ben Obamanu going into a tight window. I think at the end of the play, hits his head on the ground at the end. See the head snap back for Ben Obamanu.
And a timeout. Injured player is Obamanu. We'll be back. Well, next weekend on the FX Saturday Game of the Week, Charles Davis and Gus Johnson bring you all the action as the Syracuse Orangemen take on Matt Barkley and Southern Cal. The FX Saturday College Football Game of the Week presented by Russell Athletic in high definition next weekend only on FX. So check your local listings for the channel and start time in your area.
Dick, that's your school.
Yep.
Syracuse Orangemen.
Yeah, going 3,000 miles and taking a chance and going against USC. Meanwhile, good news, Ben Obamano came off and appears to be all right. And Doug Baldwin has gone in as replacing him as wide receiver. Justin Forsett is now the setback. 3rd down and 3. And a timeout is called. The 49ers calling their first timeout. Well, Jim Harbaugh says he wants to inject the Bill Walsh style of West Coast offense for the 49ers now. And Bill Walsh, of course, the legendary icon here in San Francisco. 3 Super Bowl championships. And then, of course, he also coached your old school, Stanford, as a head coach for a couple of years. Twice, from 77, 78, and 92 to 94. And one of the great legends of all time, and a man that you got to know pretty well.
Well, I got the great fortune to play for Bill Walsh for 1 year at Stanford University, and he was a big part of my career, convincing me to really stick with football and that I could really have a future. Tremendous, tremendous football coach that Jim Harbaugh in his short time with him learned a lot from.
3rd down and 3. Lynch back in at running back for Seattle. From the 40 of the Seahawks, Tavares Jackson using his athletic ability, diving, and may have the first down. Patrick Willis made the tackle, but I believe the Seahawks have enough to move the sticks, and they do.
Plenty of time for the Seahawks. 4 minutes and 20 seconds now. 2 timeouts. But in relatively quick order, you better get points on the board. Remember, a field goal would be okay. It takes 2 scores anyway.
Winding down to 4 minutes remaining in the 4th. First down on the 45, and the slant pass is caught by Doug Baldwin, and Baldwin in a race to the goal line. Doug Baldwin goes in for the touchdown. A rookie from, yes, Stanford goes 55 yards after the pass from Tavares Jackson, and the Seahawks get a big touchdown here with just under 4 minutes on the clock.
How ironic that a young receiver who played for Jim Harbaugh last year scores the touchdown to bring him within possibly 2 points here. Almost on cue, saying the Seahawks got to make something happen in a hurry. The big play comes from Doug Baldwin.
Hauschka on to try the extra point and make it a 2-point game, and he does, and the 49ers lead is 19-17 on this 55-yard touchdown play.
Tavares said one of the things he learned from Brett Favre in his opportunity to play behind him was get the ball in your receiver's hands and let them do the work. Great job by doing that by Tavares Jackson. Doug Baldwin does the rest of it. Tavares Jackson making the most of his second opportunity in Seattle thus far today.
And those of you who saw the Giants and the Redskins, who won that opening game, Washington 28-14, welcome to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Dick Stockton, John Lynch, and Jamie Maggio, and Tavares Jackson, who has really opened it up in the second half. And Doug Baldwin, an undrafted rookie from Stanford. And of course, the Stanford rivalry here with Jim Harbaugh in his first year as head coach, first game with the 49ers against Pete Carroll. They have been longtime rivals, and this has been a tale of 2 different halves in this game.
Yeah, it really had been. Going into half, 16-0 49ers. Seattle came out with some good rhythm, really hung in this football game. 49ers inefficiency inside the red zone, inability to score touchdowns has hurt them.
Ted Ginn returning the kickoff from Stephen Hauschka. Ginn getting some running room. Hauschka may be the last chance. Ted Ginn down the sideline. Ted Ginn, touchdown. 102 yards.
And Dick, they said there wouldn't be any more kick returns, but not in a game when you got Ted Ginn Jr. and you have Leon Washington on the field. Ted Ginn uses his just flat-out speed. Says, put the 49ers on my back. I'm going to take it 102 yards. Wonderful explosive return by Ted Ginn Jr.
And you have to remember all the scores, touchdowns have to be confirmed upstairs. This one was. And Ted Ginn with his third kickoff return of his career for a touchdown. David Akers, after 12 years with the Eagles, now wearing the red of the 49ers. And after Seattle had narrowed it to 2, Ginn with an explosion gives the 49ers breathing room again.
Brad Seeley, the special teams coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, believes in Ted Ginn. He told us on Friday, we're going to give Ted Ginn some leeway in terms of returning it 5 yards and up back in the end zone. We're going to let him go, and it pays off for the San Francisco 49ers. Ted Ginn making a huge play right when Seattle had found themselves right back in this football game.
Boy, they answered that touchdown by the Seahawks to cut it to 2, and now it's 26-17. And you're right, we have seen, I would say, 80% of the kickoffs run out today.
Yeah, and a lot of that's the wind. The balls aren't going out of the end zone. The wind here in Candlestick. But I like the decision by both coaches to allow their explosive returners. And remember, now we go right back to Leon Washington, who last year returned 3 kicks for touchdowns for the Seahawks.
So we have 2 touchdowns in a total of 11 seconds. And once again, the 49ers have that 9-point cushion that they had after Akers' field goal earlier, his 4th of the game. Akers kicking it off to Washington. This is off his hands, out of bounds, and so the Seahawks will be forced to take it out of the 20, where Tavares Jackson will go to work. He has completed 17 of 30 for 177 yards, a pair of touchdown tosses and an interception.
And really been pretty effective in the second half since they went in, made some adjustments. But you're down by 9 with 3 minutes and 45 seconds, 2 timeouts. This ball game's not over. You got to score in quick order, though. Remember, a field goal would be okay. It takes 2 scores.
First down from the 20. Jackson's pass, and it's caught by Mike Williams out of bounds, and they rule no catch. Well, we want to welcome the viewers who saw the Arizona Cardinals come from behind and beat the Carolina Panthers 28-21. We have had 2 touchdowns, scoring in 11 seconds. This pass from Tavares Jackson to Doug Baldwin, 55 yards. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Ted Ginn Jr. runs it out 102 yards for the touchdown. So it's 2nd and 10 for Seattle. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Jackson gets hit, and the pass falls short. Good pressure by Ray McDonald.
And let's not forget, for the Seattle Seahawks, they came into this game without their #1 receiver in Sidney Rice. The acquisition from Minnesota. Ben Obamanu, who started in his place, just left on the last series with injuries. So they're down to their 3rd, 4th, 5th wide receivers out there.
Both teams have played well defensively, and both teams had a lot of questions in scoring from their preseason coming into this one.
They did. New quarterbacks for both teams. Alex Smith's been around, but new offense for the 49ers. New quarterback for Tavares Jackson and the Seahawks.
Jackson can't get away, and it's Justin Smith. That's the 4th sack of the game for the 49ers and the 2nd for Smith.
Gonna watch Justin Smith come right from the inside. And you continue to rush. You're working against a rookie in James Carpenter. You continue to keep that motor going. Justin Smith's been all over the field, dominating the line of scrimmage for the San Francisco 49ers.
And what's marking this game, of course, is the head coaching battle between Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, as Ginn bobbles the punt, has control, and there he goes again. A flag is down. Ginn gets into the end zone, 55-yard return, but a flag is down at the 10.
Illegal substitution, kicking team, number 33. That penalty is declined. The result in the play, the touchdown.
Ted Ginn is getting pounded here in the late stages of this game. First after a 102 kickoff return, and now a 55-yard punt return for a touchdown. 59 seconds apart.
Just 59 seconds ago, Seattle had climbed within 2 points. It was a 19-17 ball game, and then Ted Ginn said, Coach Harbaugh, rest of my teammates, get on my back. I'm going to win this game for us, and he's done it in the order of a kickoff return and a punt return for touchdown.
And Brian Schneider, the special teams coach, has seen his team special teams fizzle here in the late stages, and the 49ers lead 32-17. David Akers on to kick the extra point. And the kick is good. So Ted Ginn Jr. now with 3 career kickoff returns for touchdowns, and now 3 by virtue of the punt. Here was the first.
And you can't teach speed, and that's what Ted Ginn brings to the table for the San Francisco 49ers. You see him on the kick return just outrun the coverage of the Seattle Seahawks, and now he's going to come out on the punt. He's going to bobble a little bit, but again, can't teach speed. Speed kills in this league. Ted Ginn has it, and he's using it here today at Candlestick Park.
And the 49ers saving their spectacular plays for the end, and Jim Harbaugh hugging the coaches, and is now 2:46 away from a victory in his first game as head coach of the 49ers. And a lot has been talked about with Harbaugh facing Pete Carroll, who coached against each other in the former Pac-10 when Harbaugh was at Stanford and Carroll at USC, and no love lost, and some words exchanged at midfield in one of those games.
Well, back in college, but it's going to make for a great rivalry in this division. Jim Harbaugh brought in to resurrect the feeling of a Bill Walsh coached football team. On offense, it's looked more like Bo Schembechler, who Jim Harbaugh played for. But the fans here in San Francisco say just win.
Kind of a hybrid attack. Leon Washington will run it out from about 5 yards in the end zone. And Washington, who's made a habit of those returns, takes it out to the 24-yard line. We have had 3 touchdowns, totaling 212 yards, scored in 70 seconds. You never know what you'll see.
No. And Jim Harbaugh, we saw him hugging one of his coaches. That was special teams coordinator Brad Seeley, a longtime great special teams coordinator in this league. And Jim Harbaugh hugging him, saying thank you, and he should be thanking Ted Ginn as well.
First down at the 24 with 2:39 remaining. And a big hill to climb for the Seahawks as Justin Forsett picks up a couple.
Tall order for the Seattle Seahawks team. One of the youngest offensive lines in the league already. Then they lose Robert Gallery coming into the game this week. But their offensive line actually has done a decent job of protecting Tavares Jackson throughout the day.
7-yard gain and a flag as Mike Williams on the receiving end. Penalty marked off against the 49ers. Pete Carroll coming in 1-2 against Jim Harbaugh in their college rivalries, and trailing here 33-17.
Watch at the end of this play. Tough to see, but the ruling this year was, look, glancing blows to quarterback's head would not be called a personal foul, but forcible blows to quarterback's head have always been and will continue to be this year.
That was Ahmad Brooks for the 49ers. Jackson, and he completes it to Forsett, but he is hit immediately by Carlos Rogers and downed after a gain of 2 as we wind down to the 2-minute warning, as the San Francisco 49ers, with special teams explosions by Ted Ginn Jr., running back a kickoff and a punt for scores, leading 33-17. We'll be back. 33-17, 2 minutes remaining in the game, and Pete Carroll, who in his first year, despite the 7-9 record, he said you can convince players that you know what you're talking about when you win a division title, and that's what they did. Here is Tavares Jackson in a crowd, and Leon Washington with the reception. Picks up 8 yards on the play, and the tackle by Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis. And Jim Harbaugh coming in here and trying to get a victory in his first game as an NFL head coach. Incomplete to Leon Washington. And right now, let's send it to Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Here's the finish in Arizona. Carolina down a touchdown. 4th down. They have to go for it. Mike Goodson stopped a yard short of the score. Arizona wins at 28-21, but it was a record-setting day for Cam Newton. We'll have that, all the scores and highlights, and tell you what that record was on the OT presented by Lowe's when you guys are done. Dick and John.
All right, Kurt, and the OT, the last word, and we'll have it right here on Fox as you see the score by quarters, and the 49ers 17 big ones in the 4th, leading 33-17. 4th down and 1, and Tavares Jackson completes the pass to Doug Baldwin and the first down. Today's game produced by Pete Macheska and directed by Greg Scovatoni, the associate director Neil Gallo, the broadcast associate Marina Macro, technical producer Joe Stevens. The studio was produced by Bill Richards and directed by Bob Levy. And there's a pass overthrown intended for Baldwin, incomplete, with 1:10 remaining.
For the Seattle Seahawks, as we mentioned, a real tall order. This is a team that not only won their division, went on to beat the New Orleans Saints in the wild card division, but I think we're willing to take a step back to get where they want to go long term. They let Matthew Hasselbeck go. They got younger at the quarterback position. It's a younger team that expected some struggles, and they got them here today. Remember their key acquisitions, Sidney Rice and Robert Gallery, out with injuries today.
49ers will call a timeout, and good news for Seattle. Ben Obamanu, who left the field with an injury, has come back in. 49ers left with 1 timeout remaining. Jim Harbaugh with a terrific career, leading Stanford, first an NFL quarterback, of course, began his career at Michigan, playing for Bo Schembechler. #1 pick by the Bears, an assistant coach with the Raiders. And why did he go to the University of San Diego, John?
Well, because Jim Harbaugh likes a challenge. And believe me, I'm from San Diego. That's a small school, Division III football. He wanted to challenge himself, learn how to coach football at the bottom level. And you'll see today, learning to coach, part of learning to coach is going and getting a guy like Ted Ginn that can return kicks for you. 268 return yards.
And Tavares Jackson hit from behind. It's a free ball. And good pressure by Paris Harrelson, and the 49ers will get the ball on the 45. So what an ending for Seattle, and the 49ers with their new defensive coordinator Vic Fangio with a superb game, and Patrick Willis recovers the fumble and the 5th sack of the game for the 49ers defense.
If you look at the 49ers offense throughout today, you look at Alex Smith's numbers, 15 of 20, 124. Paris Harrelson coming, finish Tavares Jackson. Jim Harbaugh was extremely conservative in the way he called the game. I think a lot of that is because of the way his defense played. He felt like he didn't need to open it up. But moving forward, you aren't going to win football games being 1 of 12 on third down. There's improvements to be made for the San Francisco offense.
The assessment of the two quarterbacks, as you see Jack Harbaugh in the crowd, 72 years old. Both of his sons victorious on this first NFL Sunday as the Ravens beat the Steelers 35-7. So John Harbaugh won in Baltimore, and Jim Harbaugh wins here in San Francisco.
Don't forget about his grandson. He was 3-0 today.
Right.
He let us know that his grandson was playing as well. The Harbaugh family 3-0. Good day for the Harbaugh family.
That's the trifecta, and you couldn't ask for anything more on this special day. And that will be the last play of the game as the 49ers, who haven't had a winning record in 8 seasons, and Jim Harbaugh trying to end all that. And Harbaugh will shake hands with Pete Carroll. They'll meet one more time in this division race. And the final score, the 49ers 33 and the Seahawks 17. And now for the Domino's stat tracker. Alex Smith, good percentage day, throwing for over 100. Frank Gore was a workhorse, but Ted Ginn, 2 touchdown returns as a kickoff and a punt returner. So for John Lynch, Dick Stockton saying so long from San Francisco. Stay tuned next for the exclusive X Factor extended preview, followed by the OT presented by Lowe's. But the X Factor extended preview starts now.